Hello and welcome to Season 5. We're here. Let's get into it. This is Part 1, Episode 1, Redux. Written by Chris Carter, directed by R.W. Goodwin. 24 hours earlier. They're killing me here. Peekaboo! He's not dead? I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Someone from the Defense Department was spying on Mulder, and he's the guy that's dead. Mulder and Scully have figured out they're just pawns in this sick game, so she lied about IDing his body. She could have cried a little. Oh, fuck. We're at DARPA. DARPA is still up to no good in real life. Then we get this great scene.
What am I looking for?
Level 4 is a biological quarantine wing. It houses a series of labs and medical facilities and an elaborate system for the storage of vast quantities of DNA.
DNA from whom?
Virtually every American born since 1945, every immigrant, every indigenous person who's ever given blood or tissue to a government doctor. This is what I was telling you, Agent Mulder. This is the hoax into which you've been drawn. The roots go back 50 years to the end of World War II. Playing on a virulent national appetite for bogus revelation and a public newly fearful of something called the atom bomb, the U.S. military command began to fan the flames of what were being called flying saucer stories. There are truths which can kill a nation, Agent Mulder. The military needed something to deflect attention away from its arms strategy. Global domination through the capability of total enemy annihilation. The nuclear card was fine as long as we alone could play it, but the generals and politicals knew what they could not win was a public relations war. Those photos from Nagasaki and Hiroshima were not faces Americans wanted to see in a mirror. Oppenheimer knew it, of course, but we silenced him. When the Russians developed the bomb, the fear in the military was not for safety at home, but for armistice and treaty. The business of America isn't business, Agent Mulder, it's war. Since Antietam, nothing has driven the economy faster. We needed a reason to keep spending money, and when there wasn't a war to justify it, we called it war anyway. The Cold War was essentially a 50-year public relations battle, a pitched game of chicken against an enemy we not much more than called names. The communists called us a few names, too. We will bury you, Khrushchev said. And the public believed it. After what McCarthy had done to the country, they ate it with a big spoon. We squared off a few times in Cuba, Korea, and Vietnam, but nobody dropped the bomb. Nobody dared.
What does any of this have to do with flying saucers?
The U.S. military saw a good thing in '47 when the Roswell story broke. The more we denied it, the more people believed it was true. Aliens had landed. A made-to-order cover story for generals looking to develop the national war chest. They opened official investigations with names like Grudge, Twinkle, Project Blue Book, Majestic 12. They brought in college professors and congressmen and fed them enough bogus fact, enough fuzzy photos and eyewitness accounts that they believed it too. They've even hooked Doug MacArthur, for God's sake. I can't tell you how fortuitous the timing of it all was. Do you know when the first supersonic flight was, Agent Mulder? 1947. Soon, every experimental aircraft being flown was a UFO sighting. When the abduction story started up, it was too perfect. We'd almost gotten caught in Korea, an ambitious misstep. China and the Soviets knew it. The UN got all heated up at us.
Germ warfare. We were accused of using it on the Koreans.
Aliens don't exist. Remember that. Mulder gets into the storage room using the dead man's security clearance. CSM knows Mulder's alive. Scully presents the evidence she found that her disease was given to her by the men behind, quote, the hoax, but she gets some blood on it. Meanwhile, Mulder has the cure from the storage room, but it turns out to be water. And we move on to the last part of this three-parter, Redux II, Episode 2. Chris Carter wrote it. Kim Manners directs it. Mulder comes to see Scully running into an irate Skinner. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to see her. He does. Then Skinner tells him about the advancement of her cancer. He's devastated. Human cloning? That's not gotten more and more scarier since this season. CSM is still protecting Mulder. It's not for personal reasons, I'm sure. This happens. Just friends, though. Take that, bro. They love each other so much. It's a microchip cure. Bill is still a dick to Mulder. Dana decides to try the cure despite his objections. Not him shaming Mulder for killing his sister in his quest for the truth. He's lost people too, you know. Mulder commiserates. Samantha's back, thanks to CSM, who's trying to gain Mulder's trust. She tells him that CSM is her father, neglecting to use his name. We don't get to know it yet. It's an emotional reunion, and they part ways quickly. Off she goes with her papa. Like I said, aliens do exist. Mulder still doesn't trust him. CSM will have to work harder. I have no words. Never stop kissing her. Mulder defends himself in another compelling speech. Cue the clip.
4 years ago, while working on an assignment outside the FBI mainstream, I was paired with Special Agent Dana Scully, who I believed was sent to spy on me, to debunk my investigations into the paranormal. That Agent Scully did not follow these orders is a testament to her integrity as an investigator, a scientist, and a human being. She is paid dearly for this integrity.
Agent Mulder, Agent Scully lied straight-faced to this panel about your death.
She lied because I asked her to. Because I had evidence of a conspiracy against the American people.
We've already heard testimony to these allegations, Agent Mulder.
And a conspiracy intended to destroy the lives of those who would reveal its true purpose. To conduct experiments on unwitting victims to further a secret agenda for someone within the government operating at levels without restraint or responsibility, without morals or conscience. Men who pretend to honor as they deceive. The price of this betrayal, the lives and reputations of those deceived. Agent Scully is lying in a hospital bed right now, diagnosed with terminal cancer. The victim of these same tests, conducted without her knowledge or consent by these same men who, as they try to cover their tracks, who suborn and persecute the same people they've used in their plot, I will now call by name.
Agent Mulder, did you or did you not shoot the man found dead in your apartment?
I will answer that question, sir.
Did you shoot Scott Osselhoff, employee of the Department of Defense?
I will answer that question, sir.
Answer the question asked, Agent Mulder.
I will answer the question after I name the man.
Agent Mulder.
I will answer that question after I name the man who is responsible for Agent Scully. The same man who directed that my apartment be surveilled by the DOD. A man I want to see prosecuted for his crimes. Who is sitting in this very room as I speak.
Agent Mulder, the section chief has asked you a question you are going to answer.
I can't do that, sir.
You can and you will.
I can't do that, sir, because the section chief is the man I'm about to name.
A huge episode. CSM is dead, but not really. Mulder is alive, but just barely. A lobbying company named Rausch is involved in the conspiracy, and Scully's cured. Mulder is a little livelier as a result. Shaping up to be a bitchin' season. Episode 3, Unusual Suspects. Another VG joint. Vince Gilligan writes, Kim Manners directs, 1989. The Lone Gunman origin story. It's a standalone showing how Byers, Langley, and Frohicke became the Lone Gunmen. A nice breather from the heaviness of the first 2 episodes. Suzanne Medeski is the one who opened their eyes. They meet up with her to help uncover their first government conspiracy, which involves a dangerous chemical being unleashed on the public. Enter Mulder. He's on her case, but ends up taking a liking to the 3 men. Also, Mysterious Dude gave them their moniker. That's a cool reveal. Really fun episode. Detour, episode 4. Frank Spotnitz writes, Brett Dowler directs. Back to our regularly scheduled weird shit. Our fave agents are back, and luckily they have a new X-File. Mulder's smile says it all. Watch out for the Mothman. More intimate moments between Mulder and Scully. This episode is aptly titled because it's a detour, but a pleasant one that showed off the lighthearted side of Mulder and Scully and the crazy X-File they stumble onto. I enjoyed it. Now we have episode 5, The Postmodern Prometheus. One of the best episodes I've seen. Definitely a top 5 contender. Written by Chris Carter. Directed by Chris Carter. Ah, Jerry Springer. Those were the days. Another lighthearted episode. They look good in black and white. Peterman. How high was Chris Carter when he wrote this? Whatever he was on, it worked. This is insane and hilarious. I like the B-movie monster flick vibe mixed with the 90s talk show sensationalism. Everyone seemed to have fun with this wacky premise. Season 5 is going really well so far. And then we have episode 6, Christmas Carol, written by Vince Gilligan, John Scheiben. I've been saying his name wrong this entire time. I do apologize. I finally listened to it pronounced a couple of times to make sure that it was correct. And that's how it sounds. And Frank Spotnitz. directed by Peter Markle, family episode. Dana comes home for the holidays, but she gets a call from Melissa and ends up with a case involving a little girl named Emily. Dana dreams of a young version of herself, and it looks like she has the affliction Fox had. I don't like this cop. That's eerie. I have one of those. A compact. Seriously, this dude is annoying. She has to twist his arm to get him to work on the case. I miss Mulder. I guess David needed a break, though. PCR test says Melissa is Emily's mother. Emily's a patient in a clinical trial, and it's gene therapy again. Epstein? Dana's adoption application was rejected, and Jillian shows why she's an Emmy winner. The RFLP test results come on Christmas, and it says Dana is Emily's mother. Dun dun dun. A heavy Scully episode with her isolated from her partner, dealing with a lot of family stuff. Pretty good. On to Emily, episode 7, the continuation. Written by Vince, John, and Frank again. Directed by Kim Manners. Finally, Mulder's here, and Dana's glad to see him. Bill's also thrilled. Fox testifies on Dana's behalf, and she learns about the human birthing experiment. He said, "I thought I was protecting you." Are you two the parents? Yes, they are, but not of this child. He loves Scully so much, he will beat the shit out of you for hurting her. Alien baby. This fucker again. Another sweet moment with our agents. Scully faces the truth, and Mulder comforts her. Time to say goodbye. This episode was slower paced and connected to Scully and her character's trajectory, as well as Mulder, who will remain by her side. It was emotional, but important to show how ready Dana is to be a mother, even though it's not right now that she can. Episode 7, Kitsinagari, written by Vince Gilligan and Tim Minear, directed by Daniel Sackheim. Look who's back! Pusher returns. Robert Modell is back to his old tricks in prison. Mulder and Scully will handle this. First, we get a recap of the previous episode with Modell, Exposition City, but it's kind of necessary since it's been a minute. Scully's worried about Mulder playing his game. She's right to be. I'm blue, da-ba-dee-ba-ba-da. I had to. We meet again. He had to go. That's going to leave a mark. Mulder thinks Bowman's wife Linda is the culprit, not Pusher. Right again. R.I.P. Pusher. Showdown time.
Where is she?
She's here. Mulder, make her stop. I can't help myself.
Linda Bowman!
Mulder, make her stop.
Show yourself!
Mulder!
No! I'm gonna kill you.
Don't listen to her, Mulder.
What?
It's me. You were right about her. Linda Bowman is pushing you.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm Scully. Linda's right behind you. She's telling you I'm her.
You killed her!
Mulder, I'm Scully. I'm not dead. She wants you to shoot me. She knows you'll never forgive yourself.
Shut up!
Listen to me!
Shut up!
Your mother is Tina. Your sister is Samantha.
Shut up!
Adele warned you. Don't play her game.
Mulder.
You think you can hold me?
Pretty solid episode with good action and interesting villains. Scully should have trusted Mulder, but she'll get better at that soon. Episode 9, Schizogeny is what I think it is pronounced. Written by Jessica Scott and Mike Walliger. Directed by Ralph Hemmicker. A peculiar case perplexes our agents. This time, a kid named Bobby is under suspicion for killing his stepfather, but like always, there's more to the story. This show is tackling the teenager demographic here in a similar way to the episode DPO. Is it a manifestation of the stereotypical teen angst killing the parents? Are they using their trauma against their abusers? Not exactly. It's this bitch Karen using trees and shit. She kills everyone to help their victims, but she's possessed by her father, so it's okay. And she's dead now, so no more murders. Mulder gives a little voiceover at the end to hammer home the message about dealing with abuse trauma. It's a good topic, but the execution wasn't the best. I think we've reached our first forgettable episode of Season 5. Episode 10, Chinga. We'll end part 1 with this gem. Written by Stephen King and Chris Carter. Directed by Kim Manners. A creepy doll causes mayhem and our girl Scully stumbles upon a new case. But she's on vacation. Like in Coprophagus, we get a cute exchange from our fave agents on the phone. They kill me. This is another lighthearted entry with some campy moments that are a return to form after the previous lackluster episode. 125? Damn. She's still on vacation. The killer doll doesn't care. The vacation's over, Dana. Mulder's also on the case. You mean like Chucky? He says. Gremlin's that bitch, yes. The pencil moment! Just like Chucky. That was a fun episode. Let's see what happens in part 2.